Hi guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel.
Oh, that was the other thing. Sorry.
Hi guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. I'm Laksh,
I'm Maggie.
and today we're here to talk about how to be vulnerable. It's a really hard subject, I know, really scary, but congratulations, you guys made it to the YouTube video talking about it. I know that in itself is hard, typing it out, how to be vulnerable. So you guys are 5 steps ahead of everybody else is just trying to learn how to be vulnerable. So we're going to talk about today. Maggie's going to talk about our first step.
Alrighty, step number 1 is starting to be vulnerable comes from within. Before you can even try to have it with anyone else, you have to go within because, of course, if you've reflected at all in your life, you know that until you figure it out within yourself, how can you even express anything if you don't know how you feel or even how to, once again, open up to people, all these sort of things. So you have to self-reflect. Ask yourself, why do you feel this way? If you've never sat down and journaled or looked up a YouTube video on how to express emotions or why do I feel this way or anything like that, well, obviously you are today, so once again, congrats. But if you've never done that, it is so important to do that because you deserve it, right? Your partner, your friends, all these other people deserve your emotions too. So figuring out, and this is pretty much right away step number 2, but are you more towards the empath tendency or the narcissistic tendency? And everyone hates that word, narcissist. It's not that big of a deal. It really just means you have one of your chakras, your heart is blocked, which that's okay. It's just the childhood trauma that we've learned how to survive with. So anyway, the point of this is...
And I had both, so you can also go back and forth.
Yeah, you can go back and forth.
I started as an empath, was never in my frame, always focused on what my family, everybody else is feeling. I grew up and I said, this is kind of lame. I want to be selfish for a little bit. Well, I was too much of selfish. That's not good either.
But now you know both.
Now I know both. I've learned how to be in my frame, but still be thoughtful of how my actions are impacting others.
Which is balance.
It's balance. It's not taking, being a full-blown empath is not a good thing. It's not healthy. Being a full-blown narcissist is not a good thing. We just want to identify what kind of tendencies we have in what situations and make them better. That's all we're here to do, right?
That way we can have open conversations with people, because going back to, if you have narcissistic tendencies, you block your feelings from yourself and others. If you're an empath tendencies, or if you just are one, it basically, you're not in your emotions because you're in everyone else's. Yeah. So you're running from it still, right? Because you're chasing everyone. Oh, how can I help this person? Yeah. What does this person need? How is this person feeling? Why? Because you don't want to deal with your own. And once again, step number 2 is about the empath narcissist tendencies, but it's also about don't be scared to deal with, okay, I have more of the narcissistic tendency to have a closed heart chakra, a blocked emotion, whatever you want to call it.
It's hard to feel your emotions. There's a lot of different ways to put it. When I went to college, I blocked my emotions. I was used to getting easy grades without really trying. That really didn't happen. A few other negative things happened. So I just tried to stop feeling things, stop feeling disappointment. But what happened is I became like a zombie.
You don't feel the good. You don't feel the good either. So you blocked out that bad, but then you also don't get the good.
True.
So you're blocking every emotion, right? So it's really not easier, because who wants to live a life like that, right? Emotions are good. Emotions are your intuition, your gut telling you that, oh, this is right or this is wrong, or this person is healthy to be around, this person is not. Yeah. So listen, right? Being vulnerable once again with yourself, listen to those emotions when they come up. If you're scared of a person, just like if a dog is, right? Everyone says this all the time. I trust my dog's instincts. Like I trust if my dog doesn't like someone. It's the same thing, right? Trust your own gut, So anyway, but yeah, don't be scared, because by opening up your heart, if you have a narcissistic tendencies, you really do open up to the good emotions with that. So don't be scared. I promise it's not scary. I wish you guys could see it from my perspective, right here, because it is so not scary. And I will say I'm blessed and very thankful that I've always been my heart's always been open. I have other chakras blocked, don't worry. Not perfect by any means, but my heart, for whatever reason, I've never been scared of emotions. Never. Actually, in fact, I almost probably want too much of them sometimes. But anyway, I have more of the empath tendencies. So I was always chasing after, once again, is this person okay? How do I help this person? What can I do for them? Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. It's, once again, you're running from your own emotions. So, once again, stop being scared. Don't run from your other emotions, trying to intertwine with other people's for even once, for 10 minutes a day, if you sit down and journal about it, or just even ask yourself a couple questions like we were talking about.
We're jumping to the last point, but this is all circle, but the idea is to reflect. Either way we are, it's to really sit down with yourself, make time with yourself. It could be at night. Maggie loves to journal at night. I love to bounce on my trampoline in the morning and talk about life with myself. Mm-hmm. Whatever way works for you. We need a way to reflect, For sometimes it might be on the pooper or whatever. Whatever works for you.
Maybe you're watching this video on the pooper right now. Self-reflecting, that's good. We like it. But step number 3, it's just to reflect. So 3 easy steps, right? So reflecting, once again, is like he just said, I personally do it. The best way I find it is journaling. That might not be for everyone. You can even find that that's too scary. It's a choice, right? It doesn't have to be, it's not scary. It's not.
In terms of scariness, let's talk about the emotion. What is fear? Fear is us being uncomfortable.
An illusion.
That's it. Fear really is uncomfortable. When I was younger, and I really was trying to go through all these things we're talking about, something I tell myself, my affirmation was, I want to have freedom from fear. I really feel like I've lived up to that affirmation, but I want to be free from my mind holding me back. A few years ago, I think I told you guys earlier, I went firewalking until we walked on hot coals. Freedom, most people would have that, looking at those hot coals, they can't walk on it.
And some people can't.
And some people
By the way, I think that's very can you explain that really quick?
So in this event, it's through Tony Robbins, who's amazing, he's great. A lot of 4,000 people are walking on these coals at his event, and most people will walk through just fine. They're in the right energy, they're in the right frame, and they get it done. There's very few people, maybe 5-10 people total, afterwards who have small burns here and there. Nobody else does.
Hospitalized, we read about that. A couple of people have been hospitalized.
A few people get hospitalized as well, and it's because they let that fear, the illusion, kind of get in their way.
So see how your inner is a reflection of your outer? If you are, if your inner mindset, if your inner heart, if you're not in that, like just energy of whatever you want to call it, but what would you say? It's
having a high state. You know, as we talked about in our previous videos before, just being of a high energy level, right?
Right.
So that's what we kind of want to say, be on a high level. Energy state, whatever, in terms of from fear to enlightenment. We talked about this before. Be on that high level, then things just come to you naturally.
Or you don't get burned. Like literally, it sounds so silly sometimes when I explain it to people, but I'm like, literally, there are so many examples, like scientifically, for the people that need the logic behind it. Like literally, once again, this firewalking event, there are people who get burned who are in that fear-based thinking, that kind of negative, not scared mindset, right? So anyway, they get burned, and you would on the outside too. If you go out in this world and you're not vulnerable with people and you have this fear-based thinking, you end up hurting yourself, and that's all it ends up doing. That's why it's not scary to face your own emotions, because once again, there are so many good emotions to feel, but you're also opening up to others, you're helping others out while doing that.
You're not living life. If you're scared in your own shell, you're not going to live life. There's life has amazing wonders, and we could all pass away in a day, a week, a month. We could go in whenever. We should be able to look back and say, you know what? I don't know how much time I had, but I made the best use of our time. So we're here to live life to the fullest.
Yeah, I said I love you to my mom this morning. I went skydiving, cliches, right? But it's like, to be vulnerable when you die, you would not regret that, right? Like there's nothing, you would not regret it. If anything, you would regret not ever saying, oh, I love you to my mom, or, not going skydiving, or not being vulnerable with yourself. I mean, your inner is a reflection of your outer. So there's also vulnerability physically, like going skydiving. That is being vulnerable, right? But you've got to start within. That's basically what it comes down to.
And to really tie this back together with our early videos, we want to be vulnerable so we can manifest and grow. If I'm not able to be vulnerable with myself, who I am, what I'm feeling, I'm not gonna be able to manifest the life I want.
Your feelings are your reality. Once again, just like that fire walk, right? Like they're not feeling like in good energy, so they physically burn. This is what it's not because they have bad feet. These people that are not doing it, some of them were very young who have probably the best feet there. Like the point is that your brain, how you feel, and once again, being vulnerable. Like if you're always angry all the time, once again, okay, you're not even being, you can be angry. That's kind of a bad example, but if you're just holding it in and you're kind of blocking it, you're gonna go your whole life with that angry energy, that bitterness, all these things. Instead, just be vulnerable with yourself. Ask yourself why, where this anger came from, right? Self-reflect. And then it'll all be a-okay. It really will. It's not scary, right? So we'll kind of go over it again. So one is starts within. Your inner is a reflection of your outer. Two is find out if you're more of the empath tendency or the narcissistic tendency. Is it more of blocked vulnerability, or is it more you're worried about everyone else's heart, right? So figure that out. And then number three is self-reflect. Figure out why you feel this way.
Perfect, yeah. Our next video will get more deeper into the tendencies of narcissists and empaths, so watch out for that one. Look back at our earlier videos if you missed something you want to learn, but we hope you guys grow, learn, and inspire.
Alrighty.
Love talking to you guys.
If you can, like, subscribe, and share, and comment down below. And we will see you guys next time. Peace. Love, namaste.